Hi guys, welcome back to Dust Not Included. My name's Roy, and today I'm going to Savers in Attleboro, Mass. Let's head inside and see what they have. I'm also over on eBay where you can find lots of awesome vintage, like the items here. Follow me on Instagram for lots of awesome updates. Well, I'm excited to be here at Savers today. Let's see what kind of vintage I'll find. Well, I started on the first end cap. I didn't see too much there, so I headed straight over to the figurines. Well, on this bottom shelf, they had a whole bunch of dreamsicles. Looks like someone dropped off their collection. And on the top shelf, I spotted this angel. I thought it might have been Jim Shaw, so I did take a look. On the bottom, it was marked Made in China. I did look it up, and it was not a Jim Shore piece. It was a knockoff, and they were asking $7.99. A little further down, I spotted this boy and girl with puppies figurine. They were made in Taiwan. They were asking $4.99 for each one, however, which I couldn't do today. In the back here, I spotted the St. Patrick's Day bell. Look how cute she is. I just love her with the little clover in her hand. I definitely decided to pick her up. Scanning through the rest of the figurines and collectibles, on this bottom shelf here, I noticed this awesome pig bank. Look at him, he is so cute. It is Mud Pie, and I think he's perfect for the 4th of July. I stopped to check out these two pieces. The first one here is a little puppy dog. They were asking $4.99, and it was a home studio pottery piece, as well as this Raggedy Ann was also made by somebody, and they were asking $6.99. I spotted another puppy. Boy, these people liked painting their puppies. Before leaving the collectibles aisle, I spotted this infant of Prague, and that yellow robe was just so interesting. Well, it looks like they're starting to put out the St. Patrick's Day and the Easter stuff. Next, I headed down the candle aisle. And, like I always say, you gotta check this aisle out. So, I checked carefully, however, I didn't see anything that stood out to me. I don't know, do you guys see anything on the shelf? Let me know. Over on the very bottom shelf in the candle aisle, I spotted this Indiana glass teardrop compote. There were two of them. They were asking $4.99, and they sell between $10 and $12. Well, it was time to head over to the vases. On the top shelf, they had this really interesting lily vase. However, it did turn out to be modern. In the back, I really liked this Otagiri piece. It is blue iris. They were asking $4.99 for it, and I decided to put it in the cart to think about it. I also was debating about this Madonna and Child planter. However, I did put her back on the shelf. I was drawn to this vase down here. It had a great scene on it, but then I just noticed they were asking $9.49, so I put it back down. Leave a comment below. I'd love to know what type of items you never pass up. Well, I'm surprised that Savers still has so much Christmas out. In the back, I got excited for a second because I thought this was a Fiesta-ware sugar bowl, but it turned out not to be. Last glance through the Christmas to look for anything vintage. At first, I thought this might have been a Lenox piece, but it was not. So, it looks like the Christmas end cap had nothing. Well, it was a busy day, so I had to kind of skip around today. The next end cap I looked at was more Christmas. Jeez. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. Well, the next aisle I could make my way down was the cooking aisle. Scanning through for any great Pyrex, I did notice this bee honey pot. I thought it was so cute, but it turned out to be a new piece. I did still think it was cute with that little bee on top. However, I decided not to pick this up. I also really liked these new Nantucket bowls. They were so festive for the 4th of July. They were asking $4.99, $3.49 for the medium, and $2.49 for the small. I thought this was going to be something different, but it was not what I thought it was going to be. I do like this piece on top. This is a gingerbread mold, and I think it'd be perfect for Christmas. Next, I went down the metal aisle where I spotted this tin. They were asking $1.99. I really liked the florals on it. It was a little rusty. I was debating, so I decided I had to put it in the cart to think about it. These metal wire baskets, I love these. I have one that I decorate with on top of my kitchen cabinets. This little pot was cute, but it was contemporary. Then I noticed this trivet. It is Colonial Williamsburg. And I decided I had to take a look at the back. I'm not sure about it, so I decided I had to look it up. They were asking $3.99. Well, it looks like it's selling for around $11, but if you can find a brass one, I would definitely pick that up. Well, it was time to go down the dinnerware aisle. Lots of plates. I'm always looking for Fiesta ware because that's what I collect myself. Well, this little platter down here was nice. It was $5.99 and it had some poppy flowers on it. I'm always drawn to these vintage platters. They don't always sell well, but they're really pretty. Next, I took a look at the glassware. That's where I spotted these mid-century modern Libby glasses. They are frosted silver leaf and they had a set of 6 for $7.49. It looks like they sell around $16. Well, it doesn't look like I'm buying any glasses today. Next, I checked around the corner where they had some mugs. On the top shelf here, I noticed these Hazel Atlas, Pastel, Sugar, and Creamer. It is a child's play set. They were asking $2.99 each. And then I noticed this teacup. It was a really nice teacup. I love the yellow florals on it. However, they were asking $7.99 and they said there was a set of 4. However, all I could find was 2 saucers and 1 teacup. Down here in this bottom shelf, I found a Mikasa hot plate. It was really pretty, kind of a 1980s lily pattern. They were asking $7.99 for it. And on this top shelf, there was this really nice pitcher with these apples and a branch handle. It was unmarked on the bottom. They were only asking $3.99, but I did end up finding a chip on the tip of the spout after I put it in my cart. Well, I spotted this McKee thumbprint milk glass sugar and creamer. They were asking $3.99 each. This little teapot was adorable. Look how cute. They were asking $6.99 for it. It had this little bluebird and a birdhouse. It was just adorable. There were no markings on it. That little songbird was so cute though. I did spot a green pitcher, which you know I love those. And over on the mug wall, on the very top, they had these Pyrex Crazy Daisy mugs. They were asking $6.99 for a set of 4. However, I only could find 2. On eBay, they sell for about $5 each. Well, I headed off to the back of the store to see if I could find anything else, and usually that's where I like to take a little pause and research my items to see what I want to pick up. Well, in the back area I didn't find too much. They sure had a lot of chairs out though. In the back area they had this nice jewelry casket. However, then I noticed it had some words on it. Ooh la la. They were asking $3.99, but I think that saying on the top had limited appeal. Before checking out, I decided to take one more pass through because they were putting out some new items. They were these Victorian metal shoes. They were asking $5.99 each for these. Some colors I hadn't seen though. And this pig bank, this was a clear one, and I recently just sold a red one. Well, after looking up the items, I ended up with these 3 great pieces. Let's check out what's sold on eBay in the month of December. So all these items sold in December from December 1st to December 27th. The first item here is a vintage Pilgrim Glass Metropolis Art Deco style vase. It had its original sticker and these really interesting lines. Made in about the 1980s, I sold it for $45. Next up, we have a Lenox Spice Village jar. This is the oregano from 1989. I had 2 of these. The first one to sell was the oregano. They're just so cute and they're quite popular. It ended up selling for $46.99. I sold a vintage McCoy Purple Grapes wall pocket. It was 7x6, quite a large piece. It ended up selling for $44.99. So this is not a repeat. You may have noticed last month I sold one of these, and this month I sold the second one. It is a Fenton Fairy Light insert. I was asking $69.99 and I took an offer of $60. I found this in the candle aisle at a Goodwill for $1.99. So I was pretty happy with that. You should always check that candle aisle because you never know what you're gonna find. This here is a vintage Crown Trifari Christmas tree brooch. It had multicolored rhinestones, green, blue. There was one stone missing, however. I listed it for $24.99. It was marked on the back and it sold for $24.99. Next to sell was this vintage Crown Trifari wreath brooch. It was very similar to the Christmas tree. It was marked on the back. It wasn't missing any stones. It was gold toned. And it did sell for what I listed it for, $29.99. These little Lefton cats were adorable. They are candle holders. They were made in Japan, and I listed them for $49.99. They ended up selling for the full asking price of $49.99. They are adorable. These stacked Blue Willow pigs were playing pig pile. They are made in Japan. They are coin banks. There were 2 slots to put in change. I was asking $54.99 and they sold at a full asking price of $54.99. This blue Jasperware Portland vase I picked up at an estate sale a while back, but I just got it listed. I listed it for $34.99 and it sold for a full asking price of $34.99. These Kokeshi dolls I picked up at the Mansfield Flea Market when I went with Helen, the New England thrifter. I was asking $29.99 for this 8-inch one, which sold for the full asking, and then the same buyer also bought my 10-inch one for $29.99, which was the full asking price. I did pretty good at that flea market. I'll add a link to that video in the description. A little after the oregano sold, the celery jar sold from the Lenox Spice Village, and I was asking $36.99 and accepted a full offer of $36.99. This vintage fortune-telling cup was probably my favorite piece to sell in December. It was just so unique, and I haven't seen one this old pretty much ever. It was from the 1940s. It was a fortune-telling cup. It had all of these little symbols all over it. It was by High Hill Studios. I sold it for a full asking price of $49.99. This vintage Anchor Hocking glass pig bank, I was asking $34.99 and it sold at a full asking of $34.99. This here is a vintage Trifari Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer pin. It was a leaping Rudolph. I was asking $29.99 and I sold it for a full asking price of $29.99. This Black Panther is Hager and he's sitting on a pedestal. I was asking $29.99 and I sold it for a full asking price of $29.99. This here was a very unique and interesting find. It was a Persian hand-painted hunting scene. It was a Katam painting. It had all this inlaid wood in the frame on the side and on the top. The mat was all hand-painted, and then in the center was a bone that was hand-painted with this hunting scene. It was a really interesting, unique piece. I listed it for $74.99 and it sold for the full asking price of $74.99. This vintage beaded clutch evening purse was off-white and gray and it sold for a full asking of $19.99. This piece was another find in the candle aisle. I paid $1.99 for it. It was a heron ring holder from Hungary. It was the Chinese bouquet pattern. I loved the little bud on top. I thought that was so cute. I was asking $69.99 and I sold it for a full asking price of $69.99. Well, December was a really great month for eBay. You can also find me over on District on both Vamp and Knickknack marketplaces. If you use the code DustKnow80, you can get $5 off your first purchase on District. Join the excitement at the Vintage Variety Sale this Thursday at 6:30. This week will be right here on my channel. See you then!